Welcome to the Barrier of Entry podcast. We are on episode 4. And in the hair industry, especially in places like Canada, anyone can start. Anyone can become a barber or hairstylist. The barrier of entry is wide open, but not everyone grows, not everyone builds, and not everyone becomes great. So the question is, what actually separates the ones who level up from the ones who stay stuck? And this is why the podcast exists. For us to have real conversations with barbers, stylists, industry leaders about what it actually takes to become a professional and build something meaningful. And if you're listening to this, this is for you. Look, if you're trying to get into the industry, if you're feeling stuck or pushing to reach that next level, this is where we break down what's really holding you back. And for this episode, I am extremely humbled, extremely grateful for Peter Gosling to give me his time. Peter Gosling, co-owner of Glassbox Barbershop and main educator for Glassbox Education. I really enjoyed this podcast. This is actually kind of my first time talking to Peter on a personal level. I'm really excited for you guys to tune in. Let's get into it.
On
airplane mode, yeah. Believe it or not, I have 3 questions for you.
That's it. Okay. Sure.
Wait, speak for a second.
Check 1.
Okay, the background's not bad. Okay.
That's it. You got 3 questions. That's it. Okay. Well, let's see how those go.
3 questions in a map. I know we're gonna ramble, but
Yeah.
like this conversation can go left or right
For sure.
but it's just to redirect us back
Sure.
to the
No
point.
problem. No problem.
So welcome to the podcast, my guy.
That's it. What's up? Thank
Bro,
you for having me.
dude.
You want me to start with my question?
Well, I actually wanted to. I first want to start off by saying thank you.
No, thank you.
No, seriously, because you're giving me the most valuable asset anyone can have, and which is your time.
Thank you.
So, dude, for you to agree to come on my podcast and only episode 4, like, thank you so much.
No, thank you. I mean, honestly, it was just a sick message, and we're here at the same time doing the same thing. So, for me, it was just this is fun stuff for me. I really enjoy doing stuff like this, and again, I know we've spoken a little bit before we kicked it off, and I know we're going to get into some stuff, but I'm just happy to do stuff like this right now.
Thanks, dude.
You know what I mean? So thank you for having me.
Dude, thank you so much, bro.
Yeah.
Well, Peter Gosling, everybody, I'm going to be completely transparent with you.
Sure.
I have no idea who you are.
Okay.
And when I say I don't know who you are, I'm talking about on a personal level.
Sure.
You and I have crossed paths 3 times, maybe.
Do you remember the first time we met? I'll tell you where it was, and I'll tell you the hotel, and I'll tell you who it was.
Oh, yes. And the reason why we met is because I was a model for a hair show in Montreal.
That's right.
And why did I have a huge... I left there with a huge bald spot.
No.
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Like, it was above my occipital bone. And I was like, I called up Tevin. And I'm like, yo, dude, you got to fix my shit.
Well, that's who I met you in the Delta with, because I was staying in the Delta, and I brought Tevin out.
Yes.
And it was me and Tevin who taught on stage that weekend, and that's where I met you, and you were in the hotel lobby with your kit.
Yes.
And that's where I met you the first time.
Yeah. Oh, wow. I'm so honored that you
yeah.
you
And you know how
that.
many years ago it was? My daughter was a year, so that's 7 years ago.
Yeah.
Because she's 8 now.
Wow.
Yeah, dude. Yeah.
Yeah. I just remember the first impression of you. You were just like wired. I mean, you're still wired. Like, you're still a dude that has like high energy and stuff. But yeah, full circle moment, man. Like, I've been following you ever since. Huge success with multiple locations in your barbershop. Technically a franchise model.
Myself and Andrew own them all, so we own everything outright. Franchise technically to me would be other people involved who have the licensing of the brand and operate it on their own. Mm-hmm. We will never do that.
Okay.
That's something I would never do.
Because I'm learning that based on who I see as like you said, the Illuminati of barbers. Okay.
Here we go.
I see that
I'm not in it, by the way. I'm on the outside.
This guy's lying.
I'm on the outside.
All right, sure. Actually, you're right, because when I came to your class that you hosted with Menspire, I was like, oh, Peter's a hairstylist.
Yeah.
You're not even a barber.
No.
But what I've learned and what I'm realizing is that the winning formula is when the barbershop is owned by 2 people.
Yeah.
The face and then the back end.
Yeah. It's Again, so, on a personal level, and we'll talk about some personal stuff, my business partner, Andrew, is A, one of the smartest guys I've ever met, B, the most calculated, C, he makes very calculated decisions, right? I'm the guy who comes with ideas. I'm the one who brings the chaos. I'm the one who brings the ideas and the creative portion. But what myself and Andrew also have is we've known each other since grade 9.
Really?
Yeah, we went to high school together.
Where'd you go to high school?
We went to high school in Brampton, Caledon area.
Really?
Yeah, at an art school called Mayfield.
You're a Brampton guy.
Yeah, I'm a Brampton man. Okay.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah. So I'm from Brampton, Caledon area. He also, a lot of people don't know about my business partners. He ran a skateboard shop all through high school. He's been an entrepreneur and owned a business the whole time. His dad bought him and his brother, rented this little hole in the wall called the Edge Skate Shop, and they ran that all through high school. So they've ran a business since grade 9.
Wow.
Yeah. So, and then he went into marketing and advertising. So when I went into hairdressing at 18, he was at Ryerson, which is now TMU. And he went for marketing and advertising. And he worked at John Street Advertising in Toronto, which is a major agency, which has been sold now. And we moved on. Even crazier is we looked at the building to open the school in. So we almost opened our school in the John Street Advertising building.
Imagine that.
It was kind of wild, actually. But we ended up finding a different location. But yeah, our relationship runs deep, and even his own brother, which is hilarious. His own brother was like, "You're going to open up a business with Peter?" He's like, "Are you fucking crazy?" And he's like, "No, dude, like Peter's dialed." And like, obviously I was doing really well. And I'd been in the industry like 10, 11 years before we even approached opening Glassbox, right? So I find like often right now we see a lot of young people who want to be business owners and they want to open up barbershops and salons. And they've been in the industry for like 2 years. And they're like, "I'm opening up shop."
And you've been in the industry for how long?
20 years.
20 years.
Yeah.
So describe it to me. Paint a picture for me. Who was Peter 20 years ago?
A lot of different things. I mean, I played in a lot of bands. A lot of people don't really understand where I got my leadership capabilities from, but I was in a touring band. And if you got to wrangle guys into a van at the end of the night and you got to get to the next show and I was playing with professional bands. Do you know what I mean? I toured with major Canadian artists and played every major big venue in Canada and into the States. So I always took on the responsibility of like managing our rehearsal space and making sure we got to shows and making sure we got paid and getting everyone back in the van. So like that is like a really difficult job. It's called a wrangler.
Okay.
So I had to wrangle guys. You're dealing with musicians and artists, right? And like that is its own thing. So like a lot of that was a lot of learning for me. And I was a hairdresser all through that as well, right?
What got you into hair?
My mom was like, "You're either probably going to go to jail or I think you should probably do hair," because it was her wish and dream to do hair. She wasn't allowed to do it, which is hilarious because I see that quite often as parents being like, "I can't believe my child wants to be a hairdresser." And I'm like, well, you can make a lot of money. And right now in this day and age in the economy, I'm like, well, there's a lot of jobs that your kids are not going to be able to have anyways. So it seems like a good career. And I constantly talking parents off a ledge because they just are so bummed out that their kids want to be a hairdresser or a barber. And I'm like, well, I can actually introduce you to barbers who are making $120,000 a year, who own homes and businesses and cars and go on great vacations and do great stuff. And then I can show you people who can't get jobs right now. So which one do you want?
Which hair school did you go to?
I'm very lucky. I went to the Aveda Institute and Academy, which closed. Rest in peace. Beautiful facility, but I worked with great people. And a lot of people don't know this about me. I've only ever had 4 employers prior to opening up Glassbox.
Really?
I stayed, yeah, man, you have to be a tile on the floor in a business. And I only worked for the best. And I knew that I worked for the best, right? So that's why I literally tell people now, like, and I do my own classes, I'm like, dude, if you're not in the top 5 or you're not working for the top 5, you should probably quit and go work for the top 5. Why? Because you're going to learn a lot. And you might not like the fucking rules because unfortunately a lot of people are artists and they don't want to be placed in a box. But I'm like, you got to learn from the best people, right? And everyone likes the word success and they always want to talk about manifesting and all the fucking shit that they want to do. But they actually are not willing to put in the work to work on a team. And I'm like, dude, forget your commission, forget what you're making. That's not what we're here to do right now. You're here to learn, right? I went years unpaid. Fuck the money. I could care less about the money. The information that I got from working for the best is why I sit in front of you now with what I have. And there's been failures along the way as well, but that comes with entrepreneurship. Do you know what I'm saying?
Absolutely. And who is Peter today?
Peter is a father of two.
Congratulations.
Yeah, I'm a business owner and leader of over 40. I am still at times discovering who I am. I think something that I talk about a lot is the business owner you met 10 years ago or 7 years ago is not the person I am now. And a big thing that I really try to champion a lot of business owners with now is it's okay to make mistakes. It's okay to have had a falling out with a staff member. It's okay to have yelled and screamed and cried and lost your cool, because what employees don't know, especially when you stepped into business ownership and I stepped into business ownership, as much as you were learning to cut hair, I was learning to run a business. So the team that I have now has the best version of Peter. The team that I've had in the past, and you've had Hugo on the podcast, might not have been the best version because I'm learning as well.
He actually shared his story.
Yeah.
And it was really interesting. I learned that you let him sleep on your couch for 2 months.
I did. I've done a lot for people. Sometimes people don't really know what I've done. But I saw a lot of talent in him. And unfortunately, Hugo didn't love Toronto, right? I was bothered when Hugo left, and I don't mind talking about it at all. And I mismanaged how Hugo left. And I have a lot of respect for him. He's a fantastic hair cutter. I think he's a great leader. And I wish it had changed and gone differently when he left. But I think he was not into Toronto. It wasn't his thing. It wasn't his language. Even, his first language is obviously French, and he's quite francophone. Yeah, those are learning moments. But I look back at that now, and he, was so kind. Weeks later, I'd had my daughter, and he called me and he congratulated me. And I kind of sat there and I was like, man, this guy didn't need to call me and congratulate me on having my daughter. I was pissed off at him because I brought him, and I wanted to go further with him, but he was like, man, I don't like it here, and it was just tough, and it's always hard losing people. And this is something that happens with, growing as a business owner, dude. Like, there's so much business maturity you have to go through. And I've had some of the best people in the world work at Glassbox and come through our business and systems. And I won't, take responsibility for training everybody, but we've had Jack Louie who worked for us. We had Alexi Michael who worked for us. We had Hugo that worked for us. We've got people that you don't even know who are in Europe who are big people. Like, we've had at one point some of the heaviest hitters of hair cutters in Glassbox. And again, I think they learned a lot of leadership from me, public speaking, how to run a business, whether that was strict or not, not always technical stuff, because they did a lot of other courses and I brought a lot of educators in. So I would never claim that I'm responsible for the way they cut hair. Right. But at the end of the day, and when you say to me, like, who's Peter now? A completely different person than Peter 10 years ago. And I'll tell you right now, if I sit with you when I'm, and I'm turning 40 this year, if I sit with you when I'm 50, I'll be smarter, maybe not faster, but I'll definitely be smarter. Do you know what I mean? Because again, and this is what I'm literally talking to business people, business owners, young business owners all the time. I'm like, listen, it's all good. You had 3 people quit. It's all good that you made a mistake. It's all good that this happened. We're going to let that go. We can make apologies later. That's the big thing is a lot of people don't want to do, is actually be like, yo, I fucked up, mismanaged that, didn't handle that well. And guess what? Time does essentially heal all wounds in a sense, and again, I look back at like some of the stuff that I did and probably did mismanage some stuff. Andrew's always been very grounded, my business partner, right? So there's always a good cop, bad cop, and I'm reactive and emotional, right? And I think a lot of people are afraid to admit those things. Now, what I've been able to do as of recently is control my emotions and control the reactivity. So if something bad happens to me now, I'll just drive home in silence and I'll figure it out the next day, because in the moment you're pissed. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But in 12 hours, it's a different feeling, right? So for business owners out there listening to this, take a minute, sleep on it, then make a decision.
Amen. Amen. Absolutely. Peter, we'll get into the more of the business side in a second, but I just realized the first time I actually came across you, it just clicked in my head right now. Manology Montreal 2018.
Mr. Oliver Cult's show.
And I remember when I think her name was Nicole.
Yep, she's still with us 10 years.
Really?
Yeah, she's an owner.
Hey, shout out to you, Nicole.
Yeah, she had her 10-year. We took her for dinner at Maddie Matheson's restaurant 4 weeks ago, and she's bought in on one of our new locations.
Wow, that's amazing.
So not franchise, but she co-owns part of a location.
Hey,
yeah,
good for her.
Yeah, you should see her numbers. Her numbers are fuck you numbers. And there's a lot of people who are not making the money that she's making, and she's been with me for 10 years.
Well, I remember the first time that I met you and I met her.
Yeah,
you celebrated her.
Always.
I was like, wow, that to me was the first glimpse of what leadership, the type of leadership that I appreciate. Because you literally took a megaphone and celebrated her publicly, and you're like, this girl works so fucking hard to get to where she is right now. And I remember that. That
was my Kanye moment.
It was. I mean, you still kind of are in your Kanye moment. I'm not gonna lie to you,
fair.
But I remember looking at Nicole's face, and she was just so proud. She was just so proud of not only herself, but I felt this like damn, like this is who's leading me. I'm like so proud to be a part of it.
Yeah.
And honestly, I think a lot of people in that room felt the same way.
Well, that's very nice to hear. Nicole's been with us for 10 years. She was the first employee at Glassbox, coming from a salon, and she came from the salon that we both trained at. So there's a lot of common bonds there. She's like family to me. We have pissed each other off. We've had arguments. We've fought. We love each other. We text music all the time. She's queen bee, no doubt. She likes things how she likes things. I would challenge any barbershop in the city to see how busy she is. And I'm not talking about me now. I'm talking about her. She is fully booked all the time. She has scaled her prices to an unbelievable price. And you guys can Google that for yourselves. She is very talented at what she does. The level of experience she offers people is unbelievable. In terms of like how she greets people, the conversation she has, the quality of the haircut. And that's because she comes from the salon background as well. Do you know what I mean? And yeah, dude, I also am a big champion of women in barbershops. Huge. And I will tell you the biggest secret to a lot of the success of our barbershops is having women in our barbershops. Why? Because everyone comes correct.
Right.
Why? The bathroom's immaculate. The way they talk, the way they act in the staff room. Because again, it's not like, it kind of removes that boys club thing, and as much as everyone likes that, I also want people to be respectful to the people on the floor. And we all have our jokes. We all got group chats that if I die, make sure they get deleted. Do you know what I mean? We all like to have fun, but I think that having women on the barbershop is as important as having anybody else in the barbershop. So if you look at our schedules and our business, we've got women in every shop. We also have stylists at every shop now and colorists. It's been really good. There's been a lot of changes inside Glassbox over the last little bit. But I don't know. There's something that makes it a little bit more approachable, a little bit more calming, and there's a lot of respect for the ladies in the shop. And I'll be completely honest with you, and no disrespect to the Glassbox team, the ladies are some of the busiest, the hardest working, and cause the least amount of problems. Just saying.
Wow. So take us to the present. You own an institution.
Yeah.
You and I crossed paths last year this time, and at the time I was working at a hair school as a teacher.
I remember that conversation we had last year.
Yeah, and I just wanted to share the good news, and I just wanted to tell you, hey, I'm realizing. Oh, this is gonna get deep, you guys.
Okay.
I'm realizing that this educator title.
Here we go. Oh, buddy, you're going to get rated R version now, pal. Here we go.
I'm realizing that this educator title is something that was given and not earned.
Yeah.
And let me explain. I'm sure you probably know this. Before working with Coco, I was working with Babyliss.
Yep.
And I said this with Hugo before, but I don't think Hugo really gives a shit. I know you would give a shit. Just kidding, Hugo. But when I was working with them, they trained me on how to teach.
Right.
Okay. And I realized that when I took that skill to the classroom, I was like, oh shit, I'm losing everybody. And I was like, oh shit, how the hell do I answer this person's question?
Sure.
Fast forward now to the school, right? This time last year when I'm like, hey, Peter, these guys have like programs for like, students with learning disabilities. They offer like after school tutoring. I'm like, wow, like this is all the things that like I didn't know about. And then
who's got a severe learning disability? Me.
Really?
Oh yeah, me have ADD.
Oh, okay. I thought you were gonna say like autistic or something.
Well, everyone's on the spectrum, but yeah, I mean, I work on a different frequency, and we don't have to get into that, but that's most hairdressers and barbers, because there's 3 types of learning. You have audible, you have visual, and you have logical. What are most hairdressers and barbers?
Visual
and logical. I could tell you right now to go do something, and it would be like, I don't know how to do that. But if I actually showed you, right, visually, and then logically took you through it, you'd be like, I get it. I understand. This is the difference between me and most people. I understand what you need to be successful, because I read and work with people on a completely different level. Okay? That's why a lot of educators, and I'll let you take back over in a minute, are not truly understanding that it's very hard to teach people in 2, 3, 4, 5, 7 days. Okay? Very difficult. Why? Because that is not foundational education. That is upskilling, inspirational, and it's physically impossible. And you can talk to psychologists for the brain to take that amount of information in that period of time. So right now, again, and I've been there and I've done it, is we're all selling these courses. We're all trying to be successful, and I'm not knocking anybody. But if you're going to promise someone a skill set in 5 days, you can't. So you got to stop, because what's going to happen is people are going to come, they're going to buy, they're going to realize that they're the same spot, because we need foundational education.
Amen.
Okay.
But you're talking about students with 0 to 3 years of experience.
There's students out there who are 10 years experience who did not get foundational training, who are still struggling, and then they wonder why they're not making money. There's a lot to training that people are missing. I don't think that's necessarily just technical. I think there's a lot of education that's been missed, especially in the barber side, right? Now, the hairdressing side is most people have gone to hairdressing school because you got to go, right? I'll tell you right now, right? And I'm not saying it's impossible. The majority of people that I know who are extremely successful, and I'm talking extremely successful, are hairdressers who went to hairdressing school, who became barbers. But there are also exceptions. And there has been people who are disciplined, who are able to do it and have done it, right? But when you see the average barber or hairdresser, and I see them all the time in my program, and people can say whatever the fuck they want about me, I spend the most time with them. And I break it down from day one. I'm like, okay, where did we train and where did we start? And how did we start? Right? Forget even cutting hair and touching a mannequin. Let's just like actually talk about where you started, right? If you're doing a group class of 10 people, are you actually going to that person and being like, okay, well, where's things going wrong here? It's physically impossible to figure out a pain point, right? That's why I don't do group classes really anymore. I have one coming up actually, because people have been asking me to do it, but I went one-to-one education 2 years ago. And if you follow me on Instagram, I have a student almost every week. And I'm not a weekend warrior, right? And I call them weekend warriors or duffel bag educators who just travel city to city, town to town. And it's a good job. If you're a young guy and you want to make money, great. I got a family. I don't want to do that. And most of those guys end up divorced, to be completely honest with you. Okay. I meet more educators who have had girlfriends who are fucking divorced right now. And I'm like, cool. That's when I was like, fuck this. I don't want to do it anymore. So they got a beautiful wife, beautiful family, and that's straining on a family. We won't get into that unless you want to get into it. But I'm at the point where I was like, I want long-term education because I want results. And without long-term education, which is foundational training, you will not get results. And you can talk to any personal trainer in any gym ever, and they'll tell you the same thing.
I'm going to add a mic drop sound effect, bomb sound effect on that, because that's what I wanted to hear. Thank you.
It's hard for people to listen to because they're going to be like, oh, Peter's arrogant. Peter's this. Why? I'm not. I literally look at the people that I followed And if people think for 2 seconds that I haven't spent my own money on mentorships and talking to the greatest, the best, and guys who are retired from this industry, you're crazy, because I have. Because there is not necessarily an exit plan, but I would like to be able to get out from behind the chair in a sense that I can have that nicer part of life. Do you know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
So you need to actually surround yourself with the people that are actually doing things and have done things that are still involved in the industry deeply. But are they behind the chair? No. Are they managing teams? Yes. Do they have brands, color lines, product lines, coaching programs, whatever? I think there's a lot of things you can monetize and do really well in this industry. Do not get me wrong, right? But if you plan to be a barber behind the chair at 80, there's nothing wrong with that. Will your body as a vehicle be able to get you there? Maybe not. Maybe it will, right? I always encourage people now, you probably should be training yourself to be able to stand behind the chair physically, because it is a demanding job. It's not roofing, I get that, but it is tough. There is no doubt about it, right? But I'm telling you right now, and people can choose to listen to me or choose not to listen to me, but I am the I told you so guy. That's who I am. So you want to know who Peter is? I'm the I told you so guy. And I'm telling you right now, if you're a young barber out there, go to school. Whether you like it or not, go. It's better for you, okay? Then you go to the upskilling, and then you focus on the craft.
All right, here we go. So welcome to the Barrier of Entry podcast.
Okay. Oh, boy.
This podcast was created, and by the way, I'm going to tell you why it was created, and then I'm going to tell you why I'm going to be changing it soon.
Okay.
Because it was created because I saw a problem in the Montreal area.
Sure.
In Quebec, there is no licensing structure.
Zero.
There are no health and safety protocols.
There's zero.
There is no such thing as health inspection.
Yeah.
Okay. And being from the GTA, being from Markham, working downtown, working in different barbershops, being the youngest one in the shop, I've experienced being in a shop completely by myself during opening hours. Maybe I was like 17 years old working on at the Queen and John, and then all of a sudden health inspection comes in.
Sure. Were you in Mad Ones downstairs?
I was.
Yeah, I love those guys, dude. I was right across from one of my first salons, Ciavello.
Really? Oh.
Yeah, right on the corner, Queen and John.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You were working there?
Dude, I used to go into fucking Mad Ones and just fucking sniff around to see what was going on.
Really?
Yeah, especially when they moved to the vintage store. I fucking loved watching those guys. Dude, I'm an addict. I would go in and be vintage shopping, and I wasn't even fucking shopping. Just watching what was happening in Mad Ones.
Wow.
Yeah, because I wanted to get better at clippers and Afro-Caribbean hair. So I would literally be standing in fucking the basement of Black Market, and I'd be like pretending to fucking shop, and I'd just be watching the guys cut hair. Yeah.
I was there for grade 11 co-op.
Wow.
Because I worked at the Scarborough location. Those guys taught me so much.
Oh, geez, bro.
Afro hair all day with those guys.
Bro, nice with it.
Yeah. Shout out T Major. Shout out Anton.
Do those guys have Instagram?
Yeah.
Do they? I got to follow those guys. You're going to have to send me all those guys.
I think T.O.
You know, I went and asked for a job and they said no. Yeah. I was like, yo, can I come in here and work for free? And they were like, no, dude. And I was at the salon because barbering was coming up, right? You got to understand. I come from Aveda. Okay. Aveda is a massive hairdressing company, right?
There is a Aveda school though.
Yeah, that's where I went. So I went to King and when I was at King and Young, right?
Okay. Mm-hmm.
So it's actually King and Church. That's where the Aveda school was, the Institute and Academy.
Oh, okay.
Right? But I was at the Ciavello. Ray Ciavello owned the school. So I went from my first salon to the Institute and Academy, left the Academy, Ray hired me, and I worked across the street from Black Market where you guys were in the basement at Mad Ones. Right? But like I said, I used to go in there, sniff fucking tags, pretending to shop, wasn't shopping, and I'd watch.
Are those one of the shirts? Black Market
this
shirt?
is not one of the shirts.
Oh.
This is a sick shirt. Try to burn this flag, asshole.
Small world, bro.
But yeah, that's it, man. Like I was dialed and I understood, like, you know, there was a couple things happening on the barber side, right? And I feel, you know, kind of almost like I have to pay respect to those guys. Those guys were barbering before fucking white boys discovered barbering was cool. Do you know what I mean? And you got to understand, being an Afro-Caribbean shop is for the culture. So they weren't just going to let a white guy come in here and be like, yo, I'm sick with this, and then fucking dip, which has happened in barbershops a lot. Do you know what I mean? Now, I'm good with Afro-Caribbean hair. A lot of people don't know that about me, and I wish I got more of it, right? But that's because I've had a lot of training, and shout out to Kenny Duncan, you know, one of the GOAT in America as far as I'm concerned. You know, I did some training with Kenny, and I've watched Kenny a lot. And but yeah, I love those guys, and that's why, you know, I think that those guys definitely need their flowers, because that's like an OG barbershop that was like doing something that was in a vintage store that you had to know about.
Yeah, I feel super lucky to be able to work there, because that shaped me to like grow up. I was there when I was 17 years old.
Wow.
We would open at, I think they would show up at like 11. I would get there at like 10 to just clean. I was cleaning the bases, the base of the chairs.
Yeah.
Health inspection shows up.
Oh wow.
And he was like, all right, you know, let's see it. Let's see everything here.
I'll tell you exactly on one hand what was I going to look for.
Barber side.
Barbicide.
They lifted it to see if it was cloudy.
Yep.
They made sure that, again, this was like, I don't know how many years ago, but I'm sure it changed now.
It's pretty much in Ontario been the same 5 forever. It's barbicide, 70% alcohol. Make sure that your spray has tuberculoside in it. Like they're even going down to the point you can't have hair. There can't be any rust in your cartridge for your blade, right? And you got to make sure the blades are disposable. Those are the big ones.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Which I pride my business on. Forget everything else. You can't even run a shop in Toronto. And I've been in businesses. Okay. And you got to remember, Peter has traveled to a lot of places.
Can I challenge you?
Yeah.
I guarantee you that you are not cleaner than Boy the Groomist.
Boy the Groomist?
Boy
You're
the
gonna have to
Groomist.
share that with me.
Huh?
Who's Boy the Groomist?
Boy the Groomist was one of my mentors. He taught me how to use a hot towel
Okay.
as a tool
Wow.
on its own.
Okay.
Basically, his shop is on Lakeshore, I think. No, in Mississauga.
Black Barber?
No, he's Filipino, Japanese.
Because I'm gonna say something to you in a minute after. Go on.
Sure. Basically, his shop, dude, he would factory seal combs and hang them up, and then every time he used it, every time he had a new client, he'd open it up and use it.
Respect.
And he I learned about this one solution called micrilium.
Okay.
I think we call it micrilium. It's like higher or lower than like alcohol or whatever, and he would soak the razor handles in there.
So he's straight. He's like gone medical with it.
Yeah.
Right.
Like that. So anyways, that put me to a certain standard
Sure.
of like sanitation.
Sure.
Fast forward now, I moved to Montreal. No one's using Barbicide jars.
Oh God.
Oh
God.
Yeah, and it's like I would ask her, where's health inspection? When did they come by? They're just like, they don't.
Right. Dude, but the problem is the consumer doesn't know this and they don't care until someone gets fucked up or sick. And that's why I was going to ask you if that barber you were talking about was a black guy. And the reason being is because black guys, if you use a dirty clipper and that gets into their pore, you could fuck them up bad. White guy's a little bit different, you know, Asian hair a little bit different. Excuse me. But like, man, I've seen people have bad reactions to dirty clippers. So let's just like talk about this for a minute. It's like, I could care less if a fucking bad haircut leaves Glassbox. I could care less. My job is to get them back in and fix it. But if someone leaves with a bad experience or they come in and like, this place is a dump, that's when I'm like, yo, dude, how do you fix that? How do you fix that review? How do you call someone and be like, yo, the bathroom had fucking piss all over the toilet seat? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Or there wasn't sanitation stuff even in the bathrooms for the clients. I've been at people's business, there's no hand soap. So if there's no hand soap in there and everyone else is taking a piss in there and the staff aren't even washing their hands, I'm like, what? So fuck technical training. Like, and I'm telling you, man, I've been all over. And I know the United States has certain laws, but I've been in shops in New York, dude. And I'm like, holy fuck, man. Like, you would be closed in Toronto. And we do have health and safety come in, and we have them come in a lot. And I'm very proud that we have that green pass on our window because that's not for the barber. That's for the client walking by to know that, yo, these guys are doing their thing. And I think what happened with COVID, and I don't want to get into COVID because it's a very dark area, but safe service is what we started talking about. And you remember when COVID came and we all started opening our barbershops, everyone did that big sanitation video. Look, I'm wearing masks and I'm wearing PPP and I'm fucking this. And I'm like, dude, the fucking COVID disappears and now everyone's back to fucking acting like an idiot. Like, think about it, right? And I'm like, cool, you wanted to put that on because you were desperate and sad and scared that your clients were going to return, but you're okay because you went like this and then they all went back like this, right? So for me, yes. And Nicole, that's why we call her Queen Bee. She will not let that fly. My managers will not let that fly. And I tell my managers all the time, like, I don't care if you're not liked. Your job's not to be liked all the time. And that doesn't mean you're mean or rude to people. What it means is we have a standard of excellence. You're going to follow it because it's not for me and you. It's for the people that support and invest into the business, which is the client. But what's happened? What has happened? I'm going to tell you what's happened. Everyone's good at cutting hair now, but most people suck at customer service. And Ivan Zoot, if you follow the Zoot man, has been talking about it for 30 fucking years, right? Ivan Zoot, I like a lot. Do I rate him as a hair cutter? He's a good barber, right? As a hair cutter, don't really put him on a pedestal, but he's a great barber. But what he's really good at is understanding client experience, health and safety, how to get people in and out of a traditional barbershop, how to make money, right? And a lot of people clown the guy, and I'm like, well, fuck, man, he's more professional than most people out here. And I've met that guy personally, super sick dude, right? He knows he doesn't cut hair like me, and I don't cut hair like him, right? But I think we've lost a lot of like, what happened to customer service, what happened to experience, and what happened to health, sanitation, and disinfection.
Yeah. And now it's just all about how cool my Instagram video looks.
Fuck that. I told you I'm in a weird place with social media.
Talk to me.
I'm in a weird spot with socials right now. Someone said something to me not too long ago. 80% of stuff that you hear is not real, and 50% of what you see is not real. I'll be the first one to say, I know that the barbers claiming to make the money that they're making are liars. And I'm a business owner. I know what the margins of a barbershop are, even if you're at $100 haircut. The commercial rents are astronomical from fucking BC to fucking PEI. I know, I have a realtor. I know what they are. Yes, you can get more affordable stuff, okay? Haircut prices have not really increased in certain areas for an extremely long time. So when I look at people claiming to be doing certain things, and I'm just going to talk about Canada for a minute, right? Again, you're talking to somebody that has a flagship location that does 1.2 million a year, one location. Okay. I know what it costs. I know what we have to do. We pay a premium in rent, right? And I literally told someone the other day, what I pay for rent monthly for Glassbox, including the school, is $100,000 a month. A month. Okay. It's not a flex. I'm just being honest. I'm in Toronto, guys, right? 3 shops in Toronto, school in Toronto, and a location in Hamilton, which is 45 minutes outside of Toronto where I live.
You live in Hamilton?
Yeah. I can't afford to Toronto.
Wow.
I can't afford Toronto.
I didn't know that.
Because I can't afford Toronto.
I can't either.
I
That's
drive
why
a
I'm
fucking
in Montreal.
I drive a Toyota Corolla, baby.
What year?
I think it's 2022. It's nice. It's a sick car. I'm not a car guy though, so I don't care. No one ever sees me in that. So I'm not trying to flex with showing up in a vehicle that no one cares about. And just remember this: the more you show, the more you owe. A lot of business owners don't know that one, right? You want to be flexing, you're gonna have to pay more. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But yeah, so you know, I do really well. I can't complain. I got a great, beautiful life. Okay. And I go home and I lay in bed sometimes and I stare at the ceiling and I'm like, everything's good. You know what I mean? Healthy kids. They're all in activities. They're dressed well. I have a beautiful team. And I think people don't really understand 2 things. Number one, what kind of phase are you in? Are you in a wealth building phase or are you in a building phase? Right? I'm not in a wealth building phase. Why? I got 2 young kids. It's expensive. Daycare, sports, activities. I'm saving for their future. It's not a wealth building phase. I'm in survival phase, right? I was in a wealth building phase. That's how I did all the businesses and the shops. And then children came along and things changed. But then I also talk to people. I'm like, what is your relationship with money? Most young people that I talk to right now, I'm like, okay, what's your relationship with money? They're like, well, I want more. I'm like, cool. Well, when you get the money that you want, are you going to want more than that? They're like, yeah. I'm like, okay, so it's never going to be enough. Ever. I don't have that relationship with money. Right? Now, mind you, I'm very simple. right? People ask me, what would I spend my money on? It's probably the most expensive drum kit you could ever find. Because I like drumming, I like music, I played in bands. That's my shit, right? And probably like skateboarding stuff. I like fucking skateboard shit. Do you know what I mean? Like I'm very basic, right? Where other people will be like, yo, I want this kind of house and this kind of car and luxury vacations. And again, I don't know if you've seen like a lot of the people on the internet that are selling people these courses and coaching and lives and all this shit. And I'm like, cool. How do you know that's real? How do you know it's real? You don't really know that it's real, right? Now, there's a lot of people who have sold a lot of snake oil and they are successful and they are real now because they have that money. And that's up to you if you want to spend it, right? I like Dan Martell. Do you know Dan Martell?
I don't.
Okay.
I'm pushing my microphone away
That's okay.
because for some reason it keeps going on me when you're talking about something awesome.
That's
so
okay.
I'm pushing it.
Dan Martell is one of these life coaches that's out there right now, and he seems to be the most accurate to me. And I've read his book, which is Buy Back Your Time. Great book on delegation. And I read a lot of books, and I listen to a lot of books, probably more than the average human being. But in saying that, you know, I can kind of suss out now when I see one of these like online gurus or coaches, and I'm like, yeah, I can probably guarantee that that's not real.
And what industries are these people?
Could be anything.
Okay.
Because you're gonna see a lot of barbers right now signing up for anything because they're just like, how do I become successful? So they'll put their money wherever. And I'm like, dude, the most successful thing you could fucking probably do at this point is literally stand behind the chair and build a clientele, which are your investors. People don't understand. Glassbox was built on one thing and one thing only: people and chairs.
Thank you.
The clients are the investor to the business. Those clients have paid for multiple things because we focused on getting a lot of clients. End of story.
Thank you.
So go and take all the courses you want. But I'll tell you why I stopped. Like I don't do anything online. And I get people who ask me all the time, like, can you do a business course? Can you do that? I'm like, nope, I'd rather you actually come to Toronto and spend time with me one-to-one because I can actually show you that it's real. Because I could go on ChatGPT and fucking lie to you. And guess what? When you're not successful, guess who you're going to blame? Me. I don't want that shit. I don't want that on me, dude. Honestly.
Yeah.
That's when I start to lose sleep being like, cool, well, that's not really me being completely honest and genuine to you. I could lie to you right now and tell you to sign up to my course and spend $10,000 and I'll guarantee you the results, right? But if you don't make them, I'm the only one to blame. Why do I know that? Because I've been in the business for a long time. And even when people are not successful in my own business, they'll blame you. Then they'll go to the next barbershop. And if it's the same thing, then they realize it's a them problem. But if you dangle the carrot and pull people into your business because you say you can do X, Y, and Z for them and then you don't, but that's the same shit online. So I think right now, and it's hard, and I got friends who are doing it, and I'm not knocking them because I think some of them are valuable. But I'm telling you right now, if you're not going to give people results, that shit will spread faster than the shit that's actually going on, right? And then people are like, yo, I signed up, spent my money, didn't get the results. Fuck that, I'm out. So I think a lot of people are on a very short-term trajectory with a lot of things on the internet, and that's what I'm saying. It's like I have a very strange relationship with social media right now because I just don't believe a lot of the shit that I see.
I really want to get into the topic of educators and education, but before I do, I'm gonna speak to you as a entrepreneur myself.
Sure.
And seeing how you literally saw, and correct me if I'm wrong, because this is what I think that you thought.
Right.
You saw a niche. You saw a niche within the barber industry that a void that needed to be filled. And you took it by storm.
Yes and no. One, and I'll literally probably say this on stage tomorrow because we're here at the Calgary Expo. I am a poser barber. I'm not a barber. I'm a hairstylist who discovered barbering, but was always passionate about short hair grooming. I was well known in the salons for pixies, bobs, and like short women's haircuts. That's what my niche was. I literally specialized in that. And I had a massive clientele, right? And I have a lot of women who were very upset with me when I went to the barbershop because I thought we weren't allowed to bring them, right? Which was a big mistake for me. Now you got to go back and you got to remember when I came out of hairdressing school, I was charging $55 and I left to go work at a barbershop for $26. But I was lacking the clipper skills and I wanted to get better at clippers because when I came from Aveda and all my educators were from Sassoons, everything was scissor over comb. And guess what trimmer we had? Was the old wall peanut. Fucking goat.
Wired.
It's fucking dope. Yeah, white. Piece of shit. Absolute piece of shit. you know?
Yeah.
But you can fucking bury me with one, okay? Because literally, that's where it starts, you know? And you laugh at shit like that. Oster fast feed and a peanut.
Oster fast feed. I started with that actually.
Bro, Oster fast feed. I feel bad for Oster, but that's the GOAT clipper. The way it runs, and if you're gonna cut black hair and you go into a black shop, everyone's still got one. Annis Master, Oster fast feed.
Right. Did you ever use the blending clip?
Was that the one? Was that in between the one and the?
It came with the clipper, and it was like a
I forget.
It kind of looks like the
wall
European wall
yes,
one. Yeah,
I did have that.
There you go.
Yeah. So, but yeah, you know, off topic, but yeah. Sorry, what was your question again? Just to, we were talking about educators. I was rambling there.
You took the industry by storm.
Okay. Didn't take the industry by storm. I think we changed some stuff in Toronto. Okay. Now, again, myself and Andrew grew up watching skateboarding. Okay. We also grew up listening to music, right? Those are two foundations. So here's Glassbox, here's music, here's skateboarding. That's it. I also saw what Alan Beek was doing at Ruger, and I saw what Josh LaMonica was doing at Menspire. Josh is a year older than us, and so is Ruger. And that's the beautiful thing about socials, right? And I saw that Alan had opened this beautiful salon that was called a barbershop. And Josh had opened up a beautiful salon, which is Menspire Salon. And funny story is Sam and Josh, who I know very well, come from a salon background. So once again, here we go. Guys who went to Hobbs Salon, trained, went to a different style, but trained by hairdressers, jump into the men's market. Now, I don't know too much about Alan and Reese. I think they are essentially from the barbershop background. I'm pretty sure they went to school, but again, they have great taste. Okay, and I'm not here to jerk them off, but I'm being honest, they had great taste. And I saw what they were doing on socials, right? We could see what they were doing, and I was like, cool. I'm kind of tired of this like taxidermy. And I mean, I like the guys at Ruzel, and I think they're cool, but like I think a lot of people had sort of exhausted that. Everything was taxidermy, everything was old school, big mustaches, suspenders, and it was one style. Well, coming from a salon, I'm like, dude, we do everything. And I didn't feel like a lot of people were blow drying, right? Blow dries just did not exist. So that first two barbershops that I worked in, we were like literally putting lay right, slicking it back, two in a taper, and that was it. Because Boardwalk Empire was like a thing. You know what I mean? Boardwalk Empire, or like whatever the other show was at the time. So I was like, okay, well, this is going to change. But what we did is we were just like, okay, well, let's actually position this as a barbershop, but we run our business completely like a salon. That's what we do. It's based on experience. It's based on disinfection and sanitation, and then a technical haircut. And you need all three. That's the equation. And it's not that difficult. ChatGPT will tell you that now. How to run successful barbershop. Be clean, have a great experience, and get good at your job. That's it. It's not really a secret to it, right? I just did it differently and realigned the wheel. I didn't invent the wheel. I just realigned it to do what I wanted to do. But I'm so lucky, once again, I worked for the best of the best of the best of the best. Best owners, best hairdressers and barbers. And, you know, shout out to Roger at Blunt Bandages. Shout out to Shane Winrow, who's my employee now from Bellwoods Barbers. Lisa Fina, who owned Grateful Head. Ray Chivello, who owned Chivello. And Walter Wong at W, right? 5 people. Those are the only people I've ever worked for, right? And I was there for more than 2 or 3 years at each location. I became a tile on the floor, and I left with a clientele of 350 to 400 people when I opened up my business. People are leaving their fucking barbershop they work at with 50 people. And they're like, oh, I hope this works out. I'm like, yeah, good luck, because it ain't. Especially when you go and become one of these people that start scaling your prices because you've been told on the internet you got to get to $100. Because people are only fucking loyal to a couple things, right? Quality ain't one of them. Quality comes because you need to be good at your job. What it comes with is availability and volume. If you can manage those two things and then focus on quality, there's your next trifecta, right? So that's the fucking problem now. So when I meet these people, they're like, well, I want to charge $100. I'm like, so do I. Everybody does. I hope you can charge $200. I hope you can get there. But the reality is what are most people willing to spend on a haircut right now? You're probably in a range from $45 to $60. Okay? Problem is now we got to talk about work ethic, right? And like I said, I literally put out a video not too long ago. I got this guy Stavros who's working for me right now, okay? He was at the reunion course that me and Alexi did. He sat front row and he hovered me for 3 days. And I could see, and he's like, Peter, I'm going to come work for you. He's like, I'm leaving when I get back to Vancouver. He's like, I'm going to quit my job. I'm going to drive with my girlfriend. He's from Greece, had a barbershop, sold that, moved, and now he works for me. This guy was like, can I come in at 8 a.m.? I'm like, well, we don't open till 10. He's like, but can I come at 8? I said, abso-fucking-lutely you can, because he realized. He's like, I got to work. I got to do this, because most people can't put the horse blinders on and realize, cool, if you're available at 8 a.m., you're probably getting 3 more haircuts in than somebody that's starting at 11. So you want to work 10 to 7, that's great. And I'm not telling you to work 16-hour days. But the first 2 years, if you're going to go work somewhere and become a new barber or a new style, especially if you want to move cities or do whatever you want, you're going to dedicate your time to the barbershop or the salon. No ifs, ands, or buts, because you need to be available. And when are people generally available? It's actually not between 10 and fucking 4 o'clock. It's before work and after work. And if you get busy enough and you can build a demand, and hopefully we got a lot of people working from home now, you can do it. But you need the morning crowd. You need the afternoon and evening crowd, because everyone wants a fucking haircut at 4 o'clock, right? So again, are we critical thinkers now? Because that's my big thing now, is I feel like people are just not critical thinkers. I want to roll in when I want, because I'm an entrepreneur, because I'm a business within a business, and I can go to work when I want and I'll charge $100. No problem. Let's see how far it takes you.
I say this very humbly. I know I'm younger than you.
Yeah.
But I think a lot like you.
Mm-hmm.
I say that very humbly, because when I hear your brand messaging online, when I hear the message that you deliver online, I align with it.
Right.
On target. I'm with you. And what people don't realize is the barrier of entry into the industry is pretty much wide open right now.
For sure.
To be a barber, the resources that we have now, especially because of what you've done in Toronto and for Canada, if anyone wants to start, it's like no brainer. You're gonna go take some classes and go to school and get your license. Now the license, you got educators popping out of nowhere.
Yep.
Again, this is a title that was given to me from Babyliss.
Yep.
And I truly believe that it's something that that was given to me and not earned. Okay? And I say that because when I was working at a hair school, I was the stage guy, day 1, day 2, day 3. Oh, so exciting. Coco Ambassador. This is awesome. We're excited. This guy's traveling all over. It's great. 2 weeks later, I'm like, okay, guys. I'm like, oh, fuck, this is a lot.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, I see a lot of courses popping up now, especially in Montreal.
Yeah.
Everyone and their mother is doing education right now.
Yeah.
Do you believe, just like how they have it in the States, that you should have a license to be an educator?
Oh, boy. Here, are you ready for this one?
Let's go.
I'd say 75% of people should not be educating.
Name 5 people right now who should not be educating. No, I'm kidding. Don't do that.
But I'm going to back it up with this.
Okay.
Everyone has the right to educate. But education is not based on teaching a square layer. Education is based on discovering where people have pain points and understanding how they think about the material and how you teach them to control the material. Now, you have to understand, I have 30 students, okay, in a foundational program actively working in my school. I'll be able to tell you right now if they're going to be good at cutting hair or better at color, right? And then I'll tell them, I'm not saying that I don't want them to be cutter, but I'm like, this is where your strengths lie. This is what you can lean into, and you can have a great career.
What are the tells?
Dexterity and age. I've got people who are older on second careers, and unfortunately they don't pick up stuff as quick or as strong. I'm not saying that they won't, but it will take time. People don't actually talk about the psychology of the human brain. I fucking study that shit, dude. I listen to it all the time. And again, I could send you to Hugo's fucking class 10 weeks in a row, right? Someone might walk out of that and still not get it. Sorry, dude. It's just a reality. It's just trying to teach someone to kickflip. Some people just cannot kickflip, right? Skateboarding did not come naturally to me. I'm a fucking hard worker. I'm the hardest working motherfucker in the room, okay? So I always tell people, I'm like, dude, I'm only 40. Good luck competing with me, because I'm telling you I work on another frequency. I'm not bigging myself up. I just do. If I'm not actively doing something and being creative, like, it's a problem for me. There's always a project for me. I don't care about the result. I care about actively doing a project, right? That's just in my nature. I can't explain it to you. Whether it's like taking that skateboard apart and cleaning it and putting it back together, I'll do it. Do you know what I mean? Sometimes I sit on my phone and I just want to clear out my phone because there's just too much content on it. I can't, maybe I'm OCD. I don't know. And again, I'm a different breed, right? I'm very unfiltered, but I really know what I'm talking about. If you want to talk to me about space exploration and these guys in space this last week, I can fucking tell you shit. You want to talk about hair with me? You want to talk about the hair industry with me? I'm your guy. I'll tell you everything you want to know, everything you need to hear, and I'll give you the best possible advice to be successful. The best possible advice. I don't know if it's always the right advice in terms of I'm going off of what I've been successful with. The funniest part about me when I was selling my business owner's course, people are like, people are coming to my business owner's course. I'm like, hey, I'm just going to tell you what I shouldn't have done. It's not based on fucking success. It's based on the fucking mistakes that I made to prevent you from not doing them. Like, that's the thing. I literally sell a course and work a course on the fucking dumb shit that I did. Not the successful stuff that I did. I'm in a successful position, but like I always tell people, like Glassbox in an infancy, bro. It's 10 years old. It's the same age as my daughter. She's fucking 8, dude. Right? She still needs development. I'm still in a fucking massive development phase of my business. In 10 more years, teenage years. I'm in the teenage years of my business. I'm really hoping to get to 30 years. Like that's the goal. But like, again, we got to start talking about attainable goals versus unrealistic dumbass goals. And I talk to people all the time. I'm like, cool, let's be cringy for a minute. Tell me your goals. I want to be a millionaire. Great. So does everybody else, dude. Right? But what is a real goal? Like I literally tell people, I'm like, cool, is weight loss a goal? Because that's like an attainable goal, right? And set it for yourself, right? Is it you want to open a barbershop? Great. Sometimes I tell people like maybe an attainable goal is just renovating your barbershop, right? Because I'm training people all the time now. I'm like, cool, you got a great facility. You got a great business. Maybe we need to make the business a little bit more attractive to be competitive in a market, which might be changing the name, might be renovating it, and might be firing everybody who works here because they're an asshole. Because you didn't know how to vet fucking people, because you didn't know how to build a team. But you're so fucking desperate, you'll take any fucking barber who comes off the street, which generally, and I hate to say it, like I said, we got a lot of people who are just like, cool, it's a vehicle for them to make money. They don't fucking love it, and they have no choice to do it because they can't figure out anything else. I don't hire people like that. I've been there, I've done that. Again, stupid fucking mistakes, right? That's the fucking reality of the industry. But people are generally, currently right now, desperate for staff because the industry's hurting. And I don't care what anybody says. I think that barbering and hairdressing after COVID has still not truly recovered. There's still a lot of stuff that we need to fix. And you're talking about one yourself. You're like, cool, there's no health and sanitation. There's no trade board. There's nothing, right? But BC's like that as well. I know every province off by hand of what offers what. How about this? I closed a business in Victoria this year.
Yeah, you had a shop out there.
Yeah, I closed it. Fucking walked away from that. Keys in the middle. Fuck this. Didn't want it. Headache.
Why? What happened?
BC's going through, and I won't get into that, but BC's going through some stuff, and we had no leadership on the floor. Good cutters, but no leadership, and I couldn't be there, right? Most people would be like, holy shit, I'm never going to announce that. I'm never going to talk about it, but I look at this as Starbucks now. Starbucks will literally move across the street if the sun is in the windows. They might have been in a location for 10 years and successful, but if they know that across the street is going to be more successful and there's sun going in the windows, they'll fucking move that shit, right? 7 years we were there, very successful. The last year, the most unsuccessful year we ever had. We moved to a bigger location. The downtown is suffering. There's other people I know in Victoria closing their businesses, and that's an economy thing, right? But problem was there was literally no leadership on the floor there, and we had high staff turnover, right? I know people who would never talk about this. I have more shops opening this year, right? And I can't talk about it because I have NDAs right now, and there's people that we're working with, but now we have true partners in leadership. So there's no partner out there. There's just employees. And guess what? You will care the most. They will care as much as they need to make money. But with no leadership, no boots on the ground, couldn't be done. So I closed it. I walked away. I also had a location last year that didn't recover after COVID. And there's another barbershop in there now, and they're doing well. But I moved it to Ossington, which is the busiest street in Toronto, right? Like, I'm not afraid to make moves that sometimes people are like holding on to these fucking things. And I'm like talking to them. I'm like, dude, this sounds awful for you. Like, fucking close. Go work in a shop for a year and rebuild. Well, I'm not that age. I'm fucking, I did all this. I'm like, dude, fuck what you did. It's not working. So what are you going to do for another 10 years? That's fucking crazy. You know what I mean? Like, I'm just at the point now, I was like, it ain't working. Let's move on. And let's find something that does work. That's the big difference, right? And I don't have an ego. I'm not embarrassed, right? And I learned that from Sam at Menspire. Sam has closed locations, right? Because there's more of a fucking headache and more of a problem than it is to fucking run a successful business. McDonald's closes. Fucking how many malls are closing right now? Because people shop online, right? But they figure out and they pivot a new way of doing it. That's business. I tell people all the time, what are you embarrassed about? That another barber's going to laugh at your misfortune? Well, fuck him anyways. It wasn't your fucking boy anyways, dude. You know what I mean? There's a lot of people who don't want me to be successful. I get that, but I don't give a shit. Because at the end of the day, I have to answer to children, my staff, and my business partner. That doesn't mean, again, you're ruthless, vindictive, and mean to everybody else. I've made my mistakes, don't get me wrong. But I'm at the point in my life, it ain't working. We're not going to have headaches.